they can put it to you.
Dylan's at another town, I think, right?
Yes.
Just so everybody know, I'm gonna abstain from any voting on this.
Oh, let's do the minutes first.
Anyone else in the audience, you can take over, Barry.
Yeah.
Okay, with the meeting minutes from January 12th, 2026.
Make a motion, to accept the minutes as written.
Give a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There was a thing here, board reorganization. I think we already kind of hit that a little bit.
Yes, so I believe what had happened, we were waiting for the whole board to be here, and again, the whole board is not here, so we would like to, I guess.
Yeah, we'll just, we'll talk when the next meeting or when everybody's
Sounds
here.
good.
So there's an A&R for 35 Hartford Ave East, Mendon. Let's go in the audience.
The record show that Dan Antonio stepping down.
Yes, that's the moment. Want to get one?
I think this is it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this is colored if you want. You'll see the color.
Sure.
No, it's just colored. On visual, colored. Some big ones.
Okay.
See if these judges do.
Good evening, John Nana with B&L Design Group in Milford, Mass. I'm here representing MJTRE LLC, the Tinios, and Shirley Cahill, the owner, for an A&R at 35 Hartford Ave East. We were in front of the board, I would say around 6 months ago, with a preliminary subdivision plan for the site that showed 8 lots. After that was approved by the planning board, we went to DBA for variances for frontage, width, and access to reduce the 8 lots to 4 lots. The variance was granted. I have given you all a copy of the decision attached to that little plan. So there's a reduction in frontage from 200 feet to 50 feet, around 50 feet on all the lots. Each one's a little bit more than 50. There's also a variance for lot width from 200 feet to 50 feet. All the lots do have over 200 feet where the house sits though. So in the area where each house is going to sit, you'll see another lot width line there that's more than the 200 required feet. I tried as hard as possible to conform the lots to a bylaw and a proposed bylaw that's been kicking around for large lot, reduced frontage lots in town. So all these lots would meet that other than the separation. I didn't count the 50-foot wide area in the areas, all the lot areas in the blocky sections of the lot have over double the area for each lot. Like I said, the variance was already approved for frontage, width, and access for a common drive. You guys all have the decision. Other than that, it meets all the regulations of it. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
So today, the ZBA accepted the plan as designed,
Yes.
so we don't have anything.
The plan or the reduced frontage?
So they've given us variance for the reduced frontage, the width, and the access off a common drive. So really, it's just a straightforward A&R because that now we meet the zoning for all that. So there's really an A&R plan doesn't require drainage or anything like this. This is just to cut out the lots, the property lines.
The only question I got is, do we have any concern with site distance?
Yeah, so in the ZBA decision, we have to put a light on one of the poles up front for sight distance. The sight distance isn't great there, but they wanted a light there to light the entrance and exit for the four houses.
Comments, questions, you want more time to study it or?
Yeah, I would like more time to study it. I was under the impression that that would require a hearing. Once it's on the driveway or because it's, technically it would be the subdivision control.
I don't think we do it in A and R.
Essentially, it's subdividing plan, right?
By A&R, because there is no new road or anything going in. So a subdivision is you're creating a new road, you're creating a new right of way. This is just using the existing frontage. So that's why we went and got the variances for frontage, width, lot width, and access. So those are the things that we got a variance from that you would require for an A&R. So that allows us to do it with an A&R.
Yeah, so it's my understanding that the use of a common driveway via public hearings, correct?
I don't believe the town has any bylaws for common driveways, so we have to get a variance for access to the lot by a common drive. I think you guys are working on that now. A bylaw now about common drives and large
The
lot.
bylaw is not, the bylaw is not.
Right, but because it's not allowed.
Yeah, it's not approved yet.
required. Just,
It's an A and R plan. Everything was approved and in a hearing at ZBA.
Yeah, I've never come across that as far as having a public hearing for this. Not all the time. I've been sitting on this board. I've been here since 2009.
yeah,
It's not the first one in town like this either.
They refused one like this prior to my time on the board and it turned into a project being a mess. On the other side.
Yeah, so we didn't have any pushback from any of the abutters because we were reducing from 8 lots to 4 lots. So, and you don't get a town road that the town has to take care of. So there was no pushback from any of the abutters.
What's your understanding? Right? As far as the A&R goes.
They got the relief from the zoning board. And it's an after review to approve an A and R.
Right, but as far as having a public
But
hearing.
to sign, right now, I don't have any comments, no. There'd be one driveway though, how many?
Yeah, one driveway goes down, the driveway goes down to, and it's gone through the fire chief, so there's a big hammerhead at the end of the driveway for access for the fire equipment to go down and turn around and come out. That was all discussed through ZBA. There was no safety issues with fire because we had truck turning plans with all the radiuses down at the end of where the driveway goes. And then, so it goes down to basically that hammerhead and the individual driveways for each house come off that main driveway.
Roughly in the center of the frontage.
Yeah, it basically runs right down the center lot line is the center of the driveway. It's, oh, you can see the easement. I'm sorry. It's the first lot. You see the easement? See the easement coming down? That's the common drive, the dash line. It comes down to the hammerhead on lot 3 and lot 4. That's exactly where it is. That easement sets up the drive. For access and utilities to all the lots.
But
And I don't have any particular concerns. I mean, this came before us before, right?
well, originally it was a subdivision with
8 lots.
8 lots.
Okay,
We decided to go with this
yeah,
and go in front of the ZBA. They got the variance from the CTA. All stamped and approved.
Of course, single family homes.
Yeah, single family.
If anybody doesn't have any else, I'll entertain a motion.
Yeah, my only thing is I would prefer to wait until either Dylan's here or have a chance to review it as opposed to getting the stuff put in front of me at the time of the meeting without any opportunity before you do it, but if the board chooses to vote. Let's choose.
The motion to,
Motion to accept the motion to not accept, or whatever you want to do. And I can't make the motion, Jim.
Okay, do you have like specific concerns, or is it just not having had sufficient time to review?
Would we send you over the files that were submitted to the ZBA? Help you? At all? Like the plans that were submitted to the ZBA?
No, I'd just like to have some time to test it and review them.
Had concerns about, like, I don't have particular concerns at the moment, but again, this is, kind of this pivot in design is the first that I've really had a chance to look at it too. It's not for us to continue.
Whatever you want to do for a motion.
Is that what you would advocate for as a continuance?
Yeah, I think.
I just wanna make so how are you gonna, Damon Tenio, 60 North Ave, how are you gonna review it? What are you gonna change? Are you gonna call an attorney or what are you gonna?
I personally don't feel comfortable voting on it without being more familiar with it.
How are you gonna get familiar with it?
In the bylaws that we have in place and making sure that I'm voting with clear confidence. It doesn't mean that I have to, but it means that I don't fully understand it and I don't feel comfortable.
Okay, but
If
how
I-
are you gonna review it though?
Do my research on it.
If I may help explain.
But
So the requirements of an A&R plan are frontage and access. Those are basically the only two. requirements. So we got a variance on frontage, we got a variance on access. That lets us come in front of the board with a different type of access off the common drive. And if you don't want to call it a common drive, off a driveway, it's just a different type of access that we got a variance to use. For A&R plans, you could come off the back of the lot as long as you go and get a variance for that access to the lot. So those are the two requirements of a A&R plan. It's frontage on a road. Doesn't even have to be legal frontage, it just has to be frontage on a road and adequate access to your lot. This gives us both of those things. It gives us frontage, yeah, it's 50 feet, but it's frontage on a public road and it's adequate access off the common drive. So it meets all the requirements of what an A&R is designed to do.
Yeah, in the previous cases, and when we talked about the bylaw, there was input from all the, various boards, including, the fire safety and turning radiuses, things like that. And without having that input, and it's just something that I feel comfortable with.
so when you say fire and safety input, they already approved it.
Yeah, we went through them at first for the CBA for the hammerhead right there.
And again, maybe they did, but we don't have any of that in front of us. Review it.
You do, though. You have the decision by ZBA that granted the variances. If there was a safety issue on the hammerhead from fire, they wouldn't have granted the variance.
Where is that?
That's why
It's for review.
Well, it's right there in the decision. It was granted in the decision. They granted the variance. That's the whole idea that,
What I'm asking is, where's the input from the other?
It's in the minutes of the ZBA,
Which we have not had a chance to.
but we wouldn't normally.
but you have their
We have the ability-
decision.
But we have the ability to ask for
Never gone through this before.
We've done multiple,
Never been
we've
asked
done
to do
multiple,
this before.
I live on a common, excuse me. 60
Yeah, the board has approved these.
Yeah. Over and over.
I'm not saying that they haven't, guys, and I'm not saying that I object to it, I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah, you are. You have the approved decision from ZBA for relief of what was not making this an approved piece of property.
Also, yeah, what I'm trying to explain is, we
Is there a-
went through the,
Let me ask
because,
you a question.
Yeah.
Is there a problem with just continuing this and having another?
well, it's an A&R plan, so it will, within 30 days, it gets approved, whether you guys approve it or not.
Yeah, but we have 2 weeks for the next meeting.
If
You know, I would prefer a vote, but I don't, I'm not the one that can do that. They've been waiting a long time because number one, ZBA messed up the decision when they wrote it, so we had to do a second 21-day appeal period, so we've already
That
waited
has nothing to
42
do with
days.
us.
I understand that, but
No, I don't have comments. I don't have any particular concern. Jay, I hear what you're saying. I would say, if you feel strongly about this, put a motion forward, to continue. And then the vote, the board can vote on that.
I tend to agree, Jay, if you have some concerns, I don't want to dismiss those. I think given the relief for the frontage and that it complies otherwise with zoning, it's an A&R plan. So tough call, I'm inclined to agree. They submitted a subdivision plan showing 8 lots by right.
well, subdivision through subdivision control, or we had the preliminary plan approved through the board. And basically, the road is in the same place that the common drive is. The entrance.
Any motion yet?
Make a motion to continue to the next meeting.
We have a second. So we have a second, the motion doesn't hold.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the 35 Hartford Ave East A&R as submitted.
We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. So. Wait, it was out.
Would you like them right over here or in the?
So you just fine.
Here.
I want to check that.
Don't worry, I'll make the ZBA decision. How bad. All of this stuff. The ones that the ZBA decisions quite consistently, whatever happens at the ZBA, she sends them all right away to us. So we have a chance to look at them, digest.
You don't need more about it.
That,
Well, they were talking.
Yes. Forward to my right.
well, and the,
My,
Form ones, right?
you have the A,
You could have the originals.
Yes,
Yeah, so you can these.
So it's one we got signed.
yes, there's 2 of them. I passed them out so that they can look at them.
Sorry?
Sorry, the 2 A&R applications, they should be there, I believe. I gave one to Barry, and I think.
Those will have the original signatures.
Jay, you got it.
This,
Yes.
All these plans, the ones with stamping.
No, I have copies up there, you guys, those are the color ones.
See the work, gentlemen.
All right. Let's get a motion to include or not.
And did we ever do the next part?
Yes. They were very short, barely even took up 1 page.
Okay.
You want those folded? Thank you.
Welcome to you.
Thank you.
Is that gonna matter?
It is the 16th.
I'll join the meeting again, I know it's.
So you can take over.
The joint to closure.
There's no, you know, let's have a little bit of discussion here, just so I don't want anybody to. You know, what happened.
Make sure that the question is about A and R. You were comfortable with accepting this plan because you felt you should have had a public hearing on it.
Yeah.
Well, on the use of the land, it's about, I was thinking that the variance covers the frontage, right, and the changes in the lot, but these common driveways and everything that goes along with that and with the various boards now.
Yeah.
Where does that take place?
So we did have a public hearing with the ZBA.
Yeah, yeah.
Granted.
That's what I'd say is that through the CBA, there was a public hearing. That pretty well. The A&R doesn't have any sort of process for a butter notification. Legally.
Essentially, that subdivision takes place without checking any of those boxes.
ZBA should have checked this box. Right. And people, if they had complaints, it includes at the CBA meeting.
Yeah, it was a 10,000.
Was it?
But a lot of positive, there was not a lot of negative, once they realized it was 4 houses instead of 8, they.
I think a lot of people were happy about the change. So more people were on there happier with it.
Yes. All right, you were there.
So there was that.
Who is the common that carry on?
They've been working on it for like a year or 2 now. That's why we kind of were waiting for that.
So there's no requirement for a public hearing for an A and R, right?
But yeah, you can continue.
I just wanted to make sure that the statement I made was true. And good for those.
That's glad that you actually showed
I
up.
want you to be comfortable with it. Okay.
Thank you.
What's it through?
No.
But then again, I don't want to start doing stuff.
Thank you. So, we have anything else to talk about?
This month, we got anything coming up, anything on the agenda? So at that point, we're probably looking at April.
Most likely, but if there was one in March, it would be on March 30th. Yeah.
So I mean, if something comes up and it's an emergency, that we need to do something, just reach out, as long as there's enough
We'll
time.
reach out if something comes
Yeah.
up. March 30th is a fifth week, so technically we don't have one scheduled for that day. So, if something emergency, I think we can always just, you can ask if that's an okay date for a special meeting.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll be, April 6th.
And that isn't too far away between the 30th and the 6th, so hopefully it will be nothing that's an emergency.
All right, so if you gentlemen are all good with anything you need to say, I'll make a motion.
We already do the board reorganization.
We weren't going to do it because you weren't here.
And yeah, we want to talk about it.
Let's do it.
I don't even know what
This is supposed to be.
That's
done a long time ago.
that's what we were discussing.
Sure, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, you could honestly, you're good. Oh, thank you.
Thanks. And we reorganized back in January before Frank was a member of the board.
Yeah.
And as far as reorganization goes, I don't think Frank wants to be involved. Yeah. So we're too fresh.
Yeah, anytime we add a new labor, we're supposed to do a board reorganization, we just haven't had 5 members present at all times.
We can go to who giving him CMRPC and yell to CDC. But I don't think it's fair.
There's too many letters.
Yeah. A, B, C, D.
We'll give him some time before we need to roll him up there.
Okay.
We're all comfortable with what we're doing right now, right?
I think that's fine. Do we need to like vote on that or do that?
Like I said, we already did. Do we need to do it again because he's a new member?
How about a motion to keep the same people in the same positions?
I'll make a motion to keep the board as organized as it was back in January,
Second.
All in favor?
which is good organized.
Aye. All right, we'll leave it as is. If anything changes, we can adjust it.
Good night, and happy Easter.
Yeah.
To you in April.
Thank you, everyone.
Did we make a motion that?
I made-
was 35 per day?
It wasn't a
voting.
It wasn't a hearing.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
I made
Yeah.
the motion. I needed a second.
All,
Second.
Aye.
aye.